Hi, my name is Keith Mazza. Most of you know me as Sifu Keith. Welcome to our channel. Hello everyone, today we'll bring you a video on Wing Chun basics, how to develop some good strong foundational techniques in your Wing Chun. These are the techniques that will help develop any good Wing Chun practitioner. But before we start everyone, don't forget to check the boxes for like and subscribe. And everyone, don't forget, please leave your comments in the box below and I will get back to each and every one of you. Stay safe and have a great day.
You must learn to develop your stance. You got to develop a good root, train your quads, your hamstrings, your gastrocs. All right, so what I'm going to give you is a stance holding routine. And we can do it one of two ways. So let's open our stance like we did before. We're going to hold our stance, open up the Yiji Kunyon Ma. So here, this is your first stance in Wing Chun, right? We're going to call this the Yiji Kunyon Ma, clamping the goat stance. It's a flat, neutral stance. The knees are in slightly, the pelvis is up, grab the ground with your toes. So you can hold this, okay? And you want to start, try a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Eventually, ideally, I'd like to see you hold this stance for a half hour. So the two hand poses that we can do is you can, actually I'll give you three. Forming the fist, you can work your tiger mouths, clamping the waist, or simply hold your guard, your fatigue on one side, switch to the other. But I also believe in getting the most out of everything you do. So along from that, aside from making it physical, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So you can work the breath work we did previously before, the path of wind. Inhale, visualize your breath going up over your head, under your genitals to your dantian, back up the front of the body. Some of you might have done some Taoist breathing, Buddhist breathing. Feel free to use any breath work you'd like. Okay, so again, start with a minute. I'd like to see you try and get to a half hour from here. If you want to put a small stance routine together to start with, 5 minutes in the flat neutral, then we can rotate to the side neutral, 5 minutes, back to the opposite side, 5 minutes. So we got 15 minutes. Same thing here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a T-step and we're just going to hold the cat stance. This one's going to be a little bit more arduous. It's a little bit more daunting because it's harder. Hold this for a minute. I'd like to see you also get to 5 minutes on the cat on one side. Switch, T-step, 5 minutes to a cat. Sometimes known as shubu, it's an empty stance. There should be no weight on this foot. Going back to the beginning, you can also hold the neutral stance with the guard, left or right. Switch to a side neutral, hold it. Switch to the opposite side neutral, hold it. Move back to the cat stance, hold it. Exchange, move to the opposite side. And don't worry about how you transition from one to the next. The capability is to hold the stance and develop some rooting power and kicking power. Stance work is very important for leg strength. Neutral stance, the first stance in level 1 in Wing Chun, called the Yiji Kunyon Ma. We have phases to it. So here, the pelvis is going to be up. We're going to grab the ground with the toes as we squeeze, and the knees are in slightly. This is our neutral stance. Our feet are a little wider than shoulder width. Okay, our weight is Yiji, double weighted. By pulling up on the pelvis, we elongate the back, so it helps stimulate energy flow. The tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth to connect the front and back trunk meridians. Also, by the pelvis being elongated and pulling up, our weight's 50-50, but if we have to absorb a blow from a larger opponent, it allows the energy to escape through the arm, through the legs, and down into the ground. If you keep your buttocks out, the force is going to get stuck in your hips and you're going to get knocked off balance. So traditionally, we open the form, and then just to practice opening it, we form the fist, rotate over, sink down, and we circle 1 and 2. Again, it's a little wider than shoulder width. The knees are in slightly. The pelvis is up. We grab the ground with our toes. This is our neutral stance. Neutral stance guard on the left is simple. Our guard is out. The lead hand is called mansao, asking hand. It is roughly at 130 degrees. The thenar of the hand is blocking the face. The backhand, the wusao, or guarding hand, is held at the elbow. It backs up the next section for the joint. Mansao, wusao. Guard on the right, when we switch guards, really simple, it just comes over the top. Guard on the left. You don't want to switch from underneath because if somebody were to take a trap, they pull down and trap your hands down. So we constantly switch over the top, over the top. Once again, this is the neutral stance with guard on the left. And switch it up, neutral stance, guard on the right. Level 1 Wing Chun. Moving on from the neutral stance is our side neutral stance. This is a pre-contact stance. Neutral stance here is if I took my feet and put them on one line, both toes are out at a 45-degree angle. Once again, the pelvis is up. My guard is in the center. My man sao covers my center line. My wu sao is back at my elbow. This is a neutral stance on the right. Once again, the weight is 50-50. If I switch here, neutral stance on the left. Both feet are pointed off at a 45-degree angle. Pelvis is turned in and my guard is out. This stance is known as a 6-point stance. Fingers, elbow, shoulder, waist, knee, and toe would all be pointing at my opponent. Once again, on the right side, and this is a pre-contact stance only. The neutral side stance at a point of pre-contact gives me the greatest amount of mobility. I can step forward, I can step back, I can take a side step in one direction, I can take a side step from the other direction. I can scoop to center, I can scoop to center. It also gives me mobility to kick off of one leg or kick off the other leg. Once again, this is the neutral side stance for Wing Chun at level 1. The animal swallow for finger strikes uses this. So the goal here is 180 reps. Half fist, full fist squeeze, shoot it out. You can do it at any angle you want. You can train both at the same time. Half fist, full fist squeeze, shoot the fingers out. Half fist, full fist squeeze, shoot the fingers out. This way you should check your fist when you square up to make sure that your wrist is straight. A lot of fighters break their wrist hitting a heavy bag if their hands are not taped. So again, one more time. Arm is straight, curl it under, close the fist, thumb to the second digit, squeeze the forearm. It's a proper fist. In level 1, 2, the next part as we move on is switching your guard hands in Wing Chun. There's a particular order to it. In Wing Chun, we always come over the top, just like our chain punching. So one hand replaces the next. There's never a break in our guard. As one hand's coming out, the other one's dropping down. Now, you'll see people try to pick their hands up. The problem with that is if my hand's out and I pick it up, somebody can trap this hand and trap down on it. If I'm coming over the top and they pull this hand down, this hand just comes right out. So what we do is we practice, and a good conditioning drill is just set a timer for a minute, coming over the top. You carry it, you be careful when you're going through this, don't let your hand fall down. You're not chopping, you're coming straight out, straight out, straight out. Same thing with our punching, when our punching is coming straight out. You'll see people that are punching down. No, changing guard and our chain punching is the same way. This is Wing Chun, changing hands. All right, we're not using any footwork, just practicing changing our guard. Hand over hand. So I'm in a flat neutral stance, changing my guard, changing my guard, changing my guard. So in level 1, the 1-1 pox out, my guard is covering my center line. The footwork is simple. There's a force coming at me. I'm going to half sidestep to avoid the force. Simultaneously, I'm going to apply the pox out to the ear to redirect his force. And the third aspect of that is as I redirect the force, I'm going to strike to his body. So we'll break it down one step at a time. So Keith comes in, throws the punch. First is a half step, move to the side. Second part is I don't stop his force, I add to his force and I redirect it. And it doesn't have to be far, I just need to move it slightly away from my face. The third step is I redirect it and I simultaneously strike to his body. So let's take that 3 times. So from here the punch comes in, half side step, pox out and punch. Half side step, pock and punch, and then simultaneously as it comes through, half side step, pox out, punch. So this is the level 1-1, half side step, pox out and punch.
And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons. And when you hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell notification to all so we can let you know as soon as we put out a new video. And we want you to know that we're here for you. So leave your comments below. We're going to get back to each and every one of you to make sure your questions get answered.
And once again, thank you. We look forward to being your all things Wing Chun and more for many years to come.